whispers.
You think you've heard it all in this job. Screaming mothers, car crashes, domestic disputes. But the calls that haunt you aren't the loud ones. They're the quiet ones. My name is Sarah. I've been a dispatcher for the county for 6 years. We cover a massive area, mostly suburbs, some city, and a lot of dense forest. When you start this job, they give you a handbook, standard stuff. Codes, protocols, how to keep a caller calm. But on my first night shift, my supervisor, a guy named Miller, took me aside. He pulled up the digital map on my screen. It was covered in green grids, but there was one square, deep in the Blackwood Reserve, that was marked in red. "This is Sector 8, Miller said. His voice was dead serious. "If you get a call and the GPS ping comes from Sector 8, do not answer it. Let it ring. If you answer by mistake, do not send officers. Do not send paramedics. You hang up immediately." I laughed. I thought it was a joke, a hazing ritual for the rookie. Miller didn't laugh. He just said, "There are no houses in Sector 8. There are no roads. There is nothing but trees and old mines. If someone calls from there, they aren't human." I followed that rule for 6 years, until last night. It was 3:17 a.m., the graveyard shift. The center was quiet, just the hum of the servers and the clicking of keyboards. Most of the other operators were on break or dozing off. My headset beeped. A call was coming in. I looked at the screen to check the location. Sector 8. The red square was pulsing on my map. My heart stopped. I remembered Miller's rule. Let it ring. But what if it was a hiker? What if it was a kid who got lost? I couldn't just let someone die because of a stupid ghost story. My hand hovered over the button. The ringing sound in my headset felt like a drill in my brain. I took a deep breath, and I clicked answer. 911, what is your emergency? Silence. Absolute, static-filled silence. Hello? 911, can you hear me? Then I heard it. A voice. But it didn't sound like it was coming from a phone. It sounded wet, guttural. "He found me." It was a woman. She was whispering. She sounded terrified. "Ma'am, stay calm," I said, my training kicking in. "I need your location. Can you tell me where you are?"
"I don't know," she sobbed. "It's dark. There are trees. He's walking around the cabin. He's whistling."
I looked at the map again. Sector 8. There were no cabins in Sector 8. I zoomed in. The GPS signal was strong, too strong for the middle of a forest. "Ma'am, listen to me. I need you to hide. I'm sending officers to your GPS location." I started typing the code to dispatch a squad car. But as I typed, the woman spoke again. "Why are you typing, Sarah?" I froze. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I hadn't told her my name. "Excuse me?" I stammered. "You're typing," she whispered. Her voice changed. It wasn't crying anymore. It was calm. Too calm. "You're wearing a blue hoodie. You have a coffee stain on your left sleeve. You're looking at the map." I stood up, knocking my chair back. I looked around the call center. It was empty. The other operators, where were they? The room was silent. "Where are you?" I screamed into the headset. The woman laughed. It was a dry, scratching sound. I'm close, Sarah. I'm so close. Suddenly, the lights in the call center flickered. Once, twice, then darkness. The emergency generators didn't kick in. The monitors went black. The only light came from the little red LED on my headset console. The call was still connected. "Don't run, Sarah," the voice said. "I can hear your heartbeat." I ripped the headset off my head and threw it on the desk, but I could still hear her voice coming from the tiny earpiece. Tiny, tinny laughter. I grabbed my cell phone to call Miller. No signal. I ran to the main exit doors. Locked. The electronic locks were dead without power. I crawled under my desk. I curled into a ball. I just wanted to wake up. Then, I heard a sound that made my blood turn to ice. The beep of a headset answering a call. Beep. It came from the desk right next to mine, the desk that was empty 5 seconds ago. Then a voice, a man's voice. 911, what is your emergency? It was Miller's voice, but Miller was at home. I peeked over the top of my cubicle. There was a figure sitting at the next desk. It was wearing a uniform, but its neck was bent at an impossible angle. It was holding the headset to where its ears should be. "Help me," the figure said into the microphone. But it wasn't speaking to a caller. It was mimicking the caller. "He found me. He's walking around the cabin." The figure was repeating the woman's words. Then another headset beeped across the room. Another figure appeared. "Why are you typing, Sarah?" it said. Suddenly, all the screens in the room turned on, 50 monitors, but they didn't show the map. They showed me. They showed me hiding under the desk, from every angle, from the ceiling, from the floor, from inside my own computer monitor. I screamed. I ran towards the break room, the only room with a window. I grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed the glass. The cold night air hit my face. I jumped. I woke up in the hospital. They found me unconscious in the parking lot. They told me there was a gas leak, carbon monoxide poisoning, hallucinations. They said the call center never lost power, that I had been screaming at an empty line for 10 minutes. Miller visited me yesterday. He looked pale. He closed the door to my hospital room. "Did you answer it?" he asked. "Did you answer the call from Sector 8? I nodded. I was crying. He didn't get angry. He just looked sad. "That wasn't a gas leak, Sarah, and you didn't escape." I asked him what he meant. He pulled out his phone and played a recording. It was a 911 call from last night. 911, what is your emergency? It was my voice, and the caller was me. "He found me, Miller. I'm in the hospital. He's looking at me through the window right now." I looked at the hospital window. It was the 4th floor, but there was a face pressed against the glass. It was wearing a headset, and it was smiling.